This is the Alex Salmond phone-in. Call 0345 6060 973. Leading Britain's conversation. The Alex Salmond phone-in with Ian Dale at Drive on LBC.
It's Wednesday. It's just gone 4 o'clock and you're listening to the Alex Salmond phone-in live on LBC. Now free of referendum broadcasting restrictions, this is back to Salmond Unbound. In the last week, the Prime Minister has resigned. The Leader of the Opposition has lost the vote of no confidence. The pound has reached a 31-year low against the dollar. The Scottish Government is looking to pass legislation on a second independence referendum, and Boris Johnson has gone missing. Oh, and the United Kingdom has also voted to leave the European Union. So it's been a pretty slow news week, but I'm sure we can find something to talk about. Call me and ask me anything. Within reason, of course. Phone 0345 6060 973 or text 84850 or tweet at LBC or email alec@lbc.co.uk. This is the Alex Salmond phone-in with Ian Dale. LBC, leading Britain's conversation.
And don't forget, you can watch us at lbc.co.uk or on Facebook Live. Alex, in that litany of news stories there, you failed to mention England losing against Iceland.
Yeah, there I was, cheering on the English team, and they wouldn't respond. They wouldn't respond.
Seriously, you were cheering on England?
You mean Iceland? You mean seriously I was cheering on England? No. I mean, I don't take sides in these affairs between small teams.
You were cheering on Iceland, weren't you?
But I'll tell you something.
Go on.
No, I won't, because I cheered on England quite a few games. She didn't win these ones either, actually. But nonetheless, Iceland, what a story. I mean, this is an extraordinary thing. This is a country of 300,000 people. Not only are they doing brilliantly, unbeaten in the European Championships, the women's team is in top 10 in the world as well. So whatever they're doing in terms of their coaching setup or their eating setup or whatever secret they've got, Scotland wants it.
Well, and their economy has recovered from the 2008 crash.
A 9% growth rate, yes.
Hey,
size doesn't, not everything, is it?
No. Shall we go on to the calls?
Yes, we can. Right. First call.
It's Ben in Hammersmith. Hello, Ben.
On you go, Ben.
Oh, hi there. Hey there. Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me on. I'm a Canadian. I have a lot of sympathy and a lot of admiration for Scotland. In fact, I think Nicola Sturgeon is the best politician in the country right now. But my question is this. There's something that I suppose it gives me a pinched feeling when I think about Scotland proposing another referendum to leave. Is there any place for greater loyalty to this union ahead of the European Union in the consideration of the Scottish electorate?
Well, of course, that is the choice that people in Scotland potentially might have to make. The choice next time round the independence referendum may well be between Europe and London, the European Union or the British Union. And it's quite interesting, Ben, that, obviously there's been opinion polls over the last week all showing a majority for independence, but opinion polls are well discredited these days. So I've been more interested in is the movement of opinion formers rather than opinion polls. And there's been a whole procession of people who were against independence back in 2014 who said, well, look, if it's a choice between Europe and London, I'll choose Europe. And for example, one of my predecessors, Henry McLeish, is a former First Minister, is in exactly that position. So there does seem to be a genuine movement of opinion. If that is the choice, then Scotland might well choose Europe.
Ben?
It's heartbreaking, actually. Unfortunate.
Well, I think what would be more unfortunate, Ben, let's look at it from a Scottish perspective. As a Canadian, when I was in Toronto a few weeks ago, incidentally, got a fantastic time I had, Ben. But listen, from a Scottish perspective, this is a government we didn't elect, proposing a referendum on Europe that we didn't want, and now proposing to take Scotland out of Europe against the very decisively expressed will of the Scottish people. We can't have that, can we?
There's an allied text here from Michelle in Hampton Court who says Scotland voted for unity twice, once to stay as part of the UK and again to remain in the EU. In lobbying for a second referendum for leaving the UK, are you not pushing divisive politics to a Scottish nation who's told you twice that they want unity?
Well, Michelle, I think what I'd look at is last year's general election, where the SNP won 56 out of 59 Scottish seats. And probably more to the point, last month's Scottish election, where on an express manifesto commitment on this issue, Nicola Sturgeon won 47% of the vote and decisively was re-elected as First Minister of Scotland. And of course, since then, just yesterday, a parliamentary mandate to proceed with negotiations, 92-0 in the Scottish Parliament. So whatever else she's doing, Nicola Sturgeon is not doing anything without the clearly expressed support of the Scottish people and the Scottish Parliament.
I think people find it really odd that you think we would be not stronger together staying part of the United Kingdom, but you would be stronger together staying part of the EU. There's a slight dichotomy there, isn't there?
Yeah, and we've had this discussion before in various ways, and I've always made the contrast. I think Britain, and one of the reasons I argued for the UK to stay part of the EU, I think this is an independent, or was an independent country within Europe, because it controlled 98% of its taxation. I think if you control 98% of your taxation, you're independent.
Only 35% of your laws.
But Scotland, we can replay the referendum. And I think it was 12% or 13% if you look at legislation through the Commons. But devolved within the UK, Scotland controls 30% of its taxation. Now we can argue whether 98% is independence, but certainly 30% isn't. So I think you can be an independent country within Europe. It looks like a substantial part of the English electorate, perhaps even a majority, didn't agree with that position, but a substantial majority of people in Scotland do.
OK. Ben, thank you very much. Alex, who's the next caller? You don't know who that is. So Michael in Hampton. Hello, Michael.
Michael, on you go.
Yeah, how much of your budget are you going to contribute to the EU when you get back into it, or if you stay into it? What's the percentage you've sorted out? And what about Army, Navy and Air Force? How much are you going to spend on that?
Well, two things, Michael. On terms of budget contributions, I mean, Scotland wouldn't be as big a net contributor to the European Union as the UK was. And the reason for that is, I'm just coming to that, Michael. The reason for that is we have a large land area and a relatively small population, which means that we get relatively a lot more, or would get a lot more in agricultural support. We don't get that just now because we're counted as part of the UK, so we wouldn't be in the same contributory position as the UK, but we'd still be a net contributor. But look, it amounts to about 0.3% of your budget in total. So it's about, it's less, it's a third of 1% would likely be the net Scottish contribution. In terms of defence expenditure, then we laid all that out in a previous white paper and pointed out that one of the great benefits of a country of 5.25 million people is we wouldn't be wasting our share of £200 billion expensive, redundant, useless Trident replacement nuclear system. Incidentally, that 200 billion, because of the depreciation of sterling, in the last week has gone up to 220 billion.
Well, sterling's actually on its way back now. You'll be pleased to hear.
Well, I've got the charts here. It's still 10% off since last Thursday, since I was last in the studio.
It's now 135.
It's not, well, yes, and it was 149.
Michael, you wanted to come back.
One more question. Do you think the Scottish nation is foolish enough to join a club where you've got mass unemployment?
Well, I think you're talking the mass unemployment. There's key problems in the euro area, particularly with the southern European countries, but we're not proposing to join the euro area.